2.2 million students are currently enrolled in a program that rarely benefits and sometimes can even hold back the participants. This program teaches students that turning in work is more important than learning. It teaches students that their classmates' learning needs are more important than their own. It teaches students that if you fail, you shouldn't try again. This program is called Talented and Gifted. TAG, or Talented and Gifted, is a program for students who pick up new skills quickly. For example, while my class was spending weeks learning addition, I had picked it up earlier and was ready to move on. TAG students are more talented or more gifted than any other student, as the name might suggest. We just learn things quicker. Because of this, TAG students are sometimes characterized as the smart kid, which can be problematic. Last month, I conducted a survey at my school for ex-TAG students, and I received some not so shocking news. Of the 43 people interviewed, 72% of TAG students report having to sit outside a classroom or learn something alone. 62% of TAG students report having to do extra work rather than different work, and 45% of students report having poor study skills. The major issue that myself and almost every TAG kid goes through is gifted kid burnout. The current system we use lets TAG kids get through elementary and middle school while learning few useful skills. Students need to learn basic study skills and grit in order to continue learning in the future. But when classes get harder and we need to use these skills that we should have learned and now don't have, this can make learning really difficult. Carol Dweck has done research on the topic, saying, "Such children hold an implicit belief that intelligence is innate and fixed, making striving to learn seem far less important than being or looking smart." Essentially, because TAG students aren't used to failure as children, we never develop grit, the ability to try again even after failure, because we never had to try again. We prioritize looking smart to actually being smart, which leads to gifted kid burnout, coined by young adults today struggling with bad experiences in the TAG program. Ever since the first grade, I had never felt challenged in school. I always had plenty of work to do, but I never got to learn or struggle. I didn't even get to join TAG until the 5th grade, and that was just to sit alone and teach myself math. In middle school, I was finally allowed to take classes above my grade level, but I had to fight tooth and nail to even be allowed to take them. Now, I understand that this is not the fault of my teachers. Most of them tried to give me the materials I needed to succeed. The real issue we have is with administration and federal protocols that try to help one demographic but can hurt another. First Lady Mrs. Laura Bush sponsored the No Child Left Behind Act. This act is incredibly important, and I'm certainly not suggesting it be removed, but it has created issues and should have been implemented with other laws. Essentially, the No Child Left Behind Act focuses on ensuring that English language learners, children with disabilities, children from lower socioeconomic backgrounds, and students in general who are achieving lower grades than their peers are learning as much as they can. But we need to be including TAG students in this demographic. Equity versus equality has been a major issue in recent years, and the No Child Left Behind Act has been great at providing equal opportunities. But some children need more than others. So while we are providing everyone with the same materials, we need to be providing kids with different materials and opportunities so we all have the same opportunity for success, no matter how we define success for ourselves or what we need to get there. My favorite example of equity versus equality is the bike metaphor. If we give all 4 of these people the same bike, only one of them can use it. But if we give them different bikes, depending on their ability and body type, everyone can ride their bike. Rather than giving everyone an equal amount of materials, we need to be using equity to give everyone an equal opportunity for success. Some students need more help and some students need less help. And in giving everyone an equal amount of help, we aren't helping some students enough. The crux of the issue is that if we base all of our decisions on equality, we have to define success and then give every student the materials to get to our definition of success. This obviously doesn't work. Not every student wants to go to college, so we shouldn't keep continuing to make it seem like that is the only option. Not every student wants to get a 9-to-5 corporate job, so we shouldn't continue to make that seem like the only option. Students should be able to decide which direction they want to ride their bike, and then we should be giving them the materials they need to get there. This way, instead of providing everyone with equal opportunities, we're giving everyone an equal opportunity for success. We need something to change. The kids I interviewed about the TAG program fell into 3 categories. A couple of students actually felt challenged and learned something new, but most of them either tested into the program and nothing changed, or they didn't even get the opportunity to join TAG. Or, worst of all, they were singled out, didn't learn anything new, and didn't feel like they had been adequately prepared for anything beyond grade school. Of the 43 kids interviewed, only 3 of them actually had a good experience in TAG. But even one of these 3 kids said that the program overall had a negative impact because, as so many other students pointed out, it made them feel above everyone else and singled out. In order to fix these issues, we need to make many changes. First, grades should become more fluid. If you're good at math but bad at reading, you should be able to take math at a 6th grade level and reading at a 4th grade level. Essentially, you should be put into classes based on how you do in a subject rather than age. Then we edit class lengths. Currently, classes are the same length for all students. But if you're good at math, you should go to math class for less time, and if you're good at reading, you should stay in that class for longer periods of time with other students who are struggling. Currently, my school does exactly this. We only have a middle and high school, but by expanding this as guidelines for every school in the country and expanding this as to all grade levels, we can improve the school system as a whole. Essentially, by upgrading our education system, we can fix issues both in the TAG program by helping kids work at the grade level they need to, and issues in the education system as a whole. We are throwing away the potential of 3.5 million children every single year. Without fixing the current issues in the TAG program, we will continue to discourage children from learning and trying new things. We need to demand more. Write letters to your state's legislators asking for more out of our education system. When voting on local, state, and federal issues, prioritize education. Attend school board meetings and talk about these issues. Advocate for your children. Unless we speak up about the problems in our schools, nothing will change. Policy is a business, and we need to market an inclusive education system.